solve log of n base 2 everything raised to the power 2 plus log of n exponent 3 base 2 equal to 10. So we want to solve this logarithmic equation. Now the straightforward the method here is that this type of question leads to what? A quadratic equation. But the key is how can you convert this guy here to quadratic equation. If you don't know what a quadratic equation is, or you don't know how to solve this, make sure that you just subscribe to the channel or comment down below so that we can give you the special link to how to solve the quadratic equation step by step using either factorization or the quadratic formula, or maybe a completing of the squares, right? So this is the nature of the quadratic equation. Don't let this variable thing scare you. That is why you need to subscribe to our channel so that you can know the real meaning behind the equations, right? So this is the nature of a quadratic equation. So everything here raised to the power 2, that is all. This guy here, this guy, and then this guy are just numbers. For sure the a can never be negative or a 0, right? So this make this equation a quadratic. S squared, right? It can be a different variable. Once you have a squared here, maybe we assume that to be a quadratic by name, a quadratic equation. If you want to know more, just once again subscribe to the channel. Now how can you convert this guy here to something like this, right? So that is exactly what we are looking for. So once you see how the quadratic equation looks like, now how can we convert this guy to look like a quadratic equation? The only thing that we can do here is that we are going to concentrate on this guy, right? So leaving this guy as it is, we have log of n base 2 everything squared, this guy, and then plus. Now the definition of the logarithm says that if you have some number that is hanging somewhere, I can bring down the number, right? So I can let you go down like this, something like this, of this nature, right? Is that okay? So bringing this guy down here, we are going to have 3 log of n base 2 everything equal to 10. Remember where we are going, we are looking for the quadratic equation. But so how does the quadratic, this may somehow looks like a quadratic equation if you bring this 10 here to before the equal sign, right? So here we have log of n and then base 2 everything squared. Look at the way this guy looks like. It's everything in the bracket squared, unlike this one here, right? Have you seen the difference? So this means that the log is affecting this guy here, but here the log is only affecting the n, whereby you put everything into bracket and then you have the squared there. So plus 3 log of n and then base 2 minus 10 equal to 0. Is that okay? So once you bring this guy to the other side of the equation, your sign has to change, right? So by definition, now look at what is happening here. So look at something. This guy here, the log of n base 2, I can see the same log of n base 2 here. Can you see? So we are seeing the same person here, meaning that you are playing a row, a special row here. So we can say that let, so this is where the magic happens. So let of any variable that you want to see. It can be a, it can be b, it can be x, any variable of your own choice, right? So that is something that you can go for. So let this guy here, that is the log n base 2 equal to what do you want, which letter do you want to use? So maybe let's go for x. Is the common letter in mathematics. If something is missing that you cannot find it, right? So let this guy equal to x. So meaning that wherever you see this guy log of n base 2 here, we are going to replace that by what? By the x. So here we are going to have x. Can you see x? What? X. So x, that is in the bracket x square, and the square is coming from the outside, so plus 3. So what is going to be here? So this guy is going to be x, right? So x, right? And then finally we have what? Minus 10 everything equal to 0. So boom, this is what we are looking for. So this is something that we can easily solve. That is going to be our quadratic equation, right? So this guy here, I believe that from this point you can proceed. So that is just the key there. So you must know what to use and how to use it. But anyway, let's use the method in solving this, and then finally, because you are the one who introduced, that's why you need to stay here to the end of the video and see how we are going to manipulate this. So we want this guy to be the caretaker. So the x here is going to be the caretaker, right? So this guy is just going to take care. For now, we assume that the log of n base 2 doesn't exist, right? So maybe you travel off or something, so you are delegating some of your opportunity or the chance or your obligation to x to hand it over. So this guy being handed over, for sure you will come back. So let's see where exactly you come back after the x has solved the problem. So solving this quadratic equation here, so by a factorization for sure. So I would advise you to use the factorization method, right? So we are going to have x minus 2 and then x plus or plus 3, everything equal to 0, right? Plus 5, right? So if you don't know how we solve this quadratic equation, just comment down below and then I'll send the links to that quadratic equation. Okay, perfect. So solving this one, you are going to have your x minus 2, that's equal to 0. So you have our x to be equal to 2 in this case, or from the second bracket here we have our s to be equal to a negative 5. You know how you got a negative 5, or maybe let me do that. So from this bracket, s plus 5, that is equal to 0. So subtracting 5 from both sides, so you should have your x to be equal to negative 5, right? Okay, perfect. Now here's a trick. Remember that this guy here is just a caretaker, right? So this guy here is going to be a caretaker. A caretaker of what? That is the log of what? Log of n base what? Base also the base 2, right? So everything here, remember this x here, we replace that by log of n. So you have to come back and take your work, perform your duty. So replacing this thing back, that is going to be log of n base 2 equal to 2. Now what are we looking for? It is n that is involved in the original equation, right? So it is not x. So n, you must solve for the n from this part, right? So solving from n from this part means that this you know how we have been doing this thing. If you are already on this channel, if you are new here, once again subscribe to the channel for more content, or maybe check the playlist down so you have exact meaning of or behind, or you know how we use that analogy of shooting and so on and so forth. So this guy is going to be 2 exponential 2, that is equal to our n, right? So meaning that we have our n to be equal to 4 from this point. Does it make sense? Always these people, this guy here raised to this power is equal to this answer. That is why you need to check the playlist or subscribe or comment along if you have a special question, right? So here to the same thing. So we have the values of the n. So from the question it was n that has been given, right? So here to the same thing, we are maybe I should leave this one for you to try. So log base 2 n, so log n base 2 here, that's equal to negative 5. What is going to happen? You have our n to be equal to 2 raised to the power negative 5, right? So vice versa, like this. Is that okay? This is the direction, right? So maybe you may leave it like that, so someone can choose to bring this guy down. You can rewrite this thing to be in the format for a fraction. Maybe that should be 1/32, right? So something, or you may leave it like this. Is that okay? So if you get some value from this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content like this.